Hello, children. Welcome back to our English lesson. I'm teacher Bошко, and this will be our last English lesson for this year. Are you excited? Are you ready? Let's see. What are you going to need for this lesson? For this lesson, you will need a notebook, a pencil, an eraser, and a mobile phone to take photos if you think something is important and you want to take note of. So let's take a look at what are we going to do today, actually. In our lesson, we will revise what you have learned about the present perfect simple, about will or future simple, and about be going to. Let's get started. First, we're going to talk about the present perfect simple. Present perfect simple is used when we talk about experiences in the past which are important now. We can also use it to talk about actions in the past whose results are visible now. We don't say exactly when a present perfect action happened. For example, Maria has tried mountain climbing. She's been there. She went to the mountains sometime and she has tried mountain climbing. Znači, present perfect simple koristimo kada govorimo o našim iskustvima koje su se desile nekad u prošlosti, a sada su bitna, i kada govorimo o radnjama u prošlosti čiji rezultati se mogu videti sada. Bitno je napomenuti da ne kažemo tačno kada se neka radnja desila ako koristimo ovo vreme. Imamo primjer, Maria has tried mountain climbing. Marija je probala da se penje na planinu. Penjanje po planini, je li tako? Ona je to probala. Znamo da se to desilo u prošlosti, to je njeno iskustvo, ali ne kažemo kada se to desilo. Ono što je bitno jeste konkretno ta radnja i da se to desilo, to iskustvo. How do we get sentences in the present perfect simple? What do we need, actually? To get affirmative sentences, we need the auxiliary verb have or has, and we need past participle. We use have in all the persons, for all the persons, and has is only used for the third person singular. So it's I have, you have, he, she, it has, and the plural is have. We have, you have, they have. Past participle, when we have regular verbs, we get it when we add ed to a verb. If a verb is irregular, we look it up in the third column. For example, we have two sentences. She has worked as a waitress. We have painted our room. Znači, potvrdne rečenice. Kako ih dobijamo? Potreban nam je pomoćni glagol. Pomoćni glagol have ili has. Have je za sva lica, osim za treće lice jednine. U trećem licu jednine koristimo has. Nakon toga glagol dolazi u prošlom participu, past participle. Prošli particip dobijamo tako što stavljamo nastavak ed, ako je glagol pravilan, ili stavljamo oblik iz treće kolone. Misli se na kolonu koja se nalazi u listi nepravilnih glagola i obično se nalazi na kraju vaše radne sveske ili udžbenika. Imamo dva primjera, to su she has worked as a waitress, we have painted our room. She, treće lice jednine, koristimo has i nakon toga prošli particip, i we, što je množina, zatim koristimo have i prošli particip od glagola paint, koji je također pravilan, i dodajemo mu ed, painted. Okay, let's take a look at questions. We form questions with have or has, again, plus subject, plus past participle. So we just invert the positions of the auxiliary verb and the subject. Have you been to Spain? Has he spent all his money? Da bismo dobili pitanja, opet nam je potreban pomoćni glagol have, odnosno has za treće lice jednine, nakon koga stavljamo subjekat i nakon koga dolazi prošli particip glavnog glagola. Što znači da ćemo zapravo samo uraditi inverziju, obrnuti mesto subjektu i pomoćnom glagolu. Imamo dva primjera, to su have you been to Spain i has he spent all his money. Okay, and we have negatives. To get negatives in the present perfect simple, we use the negative of auxiliary verb have or has, and we use the past participle, and that's it. I haven't worked in Novi Sad yet. Sorry, I haven't worked in Novi Sad. Or Maria hasn't come home yet. Znači, da bismo dobili odrične rečenice, koristimo odričan oblik pomoćnog glagola have, odnosno has, i prošli particip glavnog glagola. Odričan oblik pomoćnog glagola have glasi haven't, a pomoćnog glagola has je hasn't, odnosno njihov pun oblik have not i has not. I haven't worked in Novi Sad. Maria hasn't come home yet. Okay. With the present perfect, we can use some adverbs. Those adverbs are for, since, just, yet, already, never, and ever. These adverbs help us when we talk about certain situations, and we can say when they happened or how long they have lasted. So let's take a look. She has known him for 5 years. For is used for periods of time. He has lived here since 2010. Since marks the starting point of a certain action. I've just finished my homework. Just means a short time ago. I've already done my homework. Already means before now, before the moment of speaking. I've never tried yoga. Never means at no time. We haven't done that. Have you ever tried sushi? Ever means at any time. And we have one more, and that's I haven't met her yet. Yet means so far. It hasn't happened. Znači, sa ovim vremenom možemo da koristimo određene priloge, a to su sledeći. For, since, just, yet, already, never i ever. Hajde da vidimo kada koristimo koji od ovih priloga. She has known him for 5 years. For 5 years, for nećemo prevoditi, nego ćemo samo reći ona njega poznaje 5 godina. Eventualno možemo da kažemo već 5 godina. Zato što for označava period vremena. Mora da stoji sa nekim periodom. 5 godina, 10 minuta, 5 sekundi, 10 meseci i tako dalje. Bilo koji vremenski period. Let's take a look at since. He has lived here since 2010. Since označava neku početnu tačku nekog perioda. Od kada? Prevodimo ga tako. On živi ovde od 2010. godine. Znači od kada? I've just finished my homework. Just bi označavalo da se nešto desilo pre kratkog vremena, odnosno upravo. Upravo sam završio svoj domaći. I've already done my homework. Ja sam već uradio svoj domaći. Već znači pre trenutka govorenja. I've never tried yoga. Nikad nisam probao jogu. Nikada. Never. Have you ever tried sushi? Da li si ikada probao sushi? Znači bilo kada u svom životu. I posljednja, I haven't met her yet. Yet bi u ovom slučaju bilo nisam je upoznao još uvek, do sada. Okay, and there's another thing we should take note of, and that's the verbs been and gone. Been and gone are past participles of be and go. We use them when we talk about visiting places. We often use been when we refer to completed visits to a place. That means that we went there and we came back. For example, I have already been to Budapest. However, if the visit hasn't been completed yet, so that means we are still there, we use gone. Maria is not here. She has gone to Budapest. Dva glagola na koje treba obratiti pažnju kad se radi o ovom vremenu jesu been i gone. Kada govorimo o posjećivanju različitih mjesta, znači našim iskustvima, da li smo negde išli, da li smo posjetili nešto, koristimo prošli particip glagola be, a to je been, i glagola go, a to je gone. Kada koristimo jedno, a kada drugo? Been koristimo kada govorimo o završenoj posjeti nekog mjesta. Znači da smo tamo bili i vratili smo se. Na primjer, I have already been to Budapest. Već sam bio u Budimpešti. Bio sam, vratio sam se. Ta posjeta se završila. Međutim, ako ta posjeta i dalje traje, nije završena, onda koristimo gone. Maria is not here. She has gone to Budapest. Marija nije ovde, ona je otišla u Budimpeštu. Nije se još uvek vratila. Ok. Hajde sada da izvežbamo ovo. Let's practice. Complete the sentences and use the present perfect simple of the verbs in brackets. Znači, potrebno je da koristimo sadašnje svršeno vreme, present perfect simple, glagola koji su navedeni u zagradama. Okay, have you finished? Let's check. Mary not be to Spain, so she wants to go there this summer. Mary nije bila u Španiji, znači ona hoće da ode tamo ovog leta. Da li je ova poseta? Mary hasn't been to Spain. Nije bila u Španiji. Tako. U ovom slučaju koristimo particip glagola be, kao što je i navedeno. The next one. She not decide which part of Spain she wants to visit. Znači, Mary ipak nije odlučila koji deo Španije želi da posjeti. She hasn't decided. Decided, pravilan, dodajemo nastavak ed, odnosno samo d, jer već imamo e. The next one. We buy our tickets. Mi smo kupili naše karte. Right, we have bought our tickets. Steve isn't here. He go home. Okay, so here we need the past participle of the verb go. Steve isn't here. He has gone home. And the last one. I meet a lot of famous people. I have met a lot of famous people. Easy, right? Okay, let's try to make some questions now. Make questions using the present perfect. use the verbs in brackets. Actually, use all the words in the brackets to complete these sentences. Okay, have you finished? Let's check. So in the first one, we have they and we have come. Okay, so we need to say, have they come back from football practice, right? Remember, for questions, we put the auxiliary verb in the first place. Za pitanja stavljamo pomoćni glagol na prvo mesto, pa subjekat, pa prošli particip. Ok. Ovde da se ne zbunite, come, came, come. Prošli particip glagola come je isto tako come. Number 2. Have you seen James? Right, that's it. Number 3. Has Mary tried snorkeling? Be careful, the verb try is regular. We add ed, but y turns to I. Znači, obratite pažnju, kod try, y prelazi u i onda dodajemo ed. The next one, have we packed everything we need? And the last one, she, so we need has she booked the tickets for the game? Okay, easy, right? Let's take a look at be going to now. So we will talk about the future. We use be going to talk about future plans and intentions. For example, she's going to take her camera on holiday. We can also use it to predict the future based on present evidence or based on what we see. For example, look at the sky. It's going to rain. There are probably a lot of clouds, right? Okay. Znači, be going to koristimo kada govorimo o našim planovima ili namerama za budućnost. Na primjer, she's going to take her camera on holiday. Ona će poneti svoj fotoaparat na odmor. Ili ga koristimo kada želimo da predvidimo budućnost, ali imamo neke dokaze, nešto vidimo. Na primjer, look at the sky, it's going to rain. Pogledaj nebo, padaće kiša. Verovatno vidimo jako puno oblaka. Tako da možemo da predvidimo nešto zasnovano na tome što vidimo. Let's see, how do we make sentences actually? Positive sentences. We need to use the verb be plus going to plus the base form of the verb. For example, we are going to have dinner in a restaurant, but we aren't going to stay late. Znači, za potvrdne rečenice koristimo pomoćni glagol be, koji dolazi u 3 oblika, to su am, is i are. Zatim stavljamo going to i zatim dolazi glagol u svom osnovnom obliku, odnosno u infinitivu. Imamo ovde jednu rečenicu, jedan primjer. We are going to have dinner in a restaurant, but we aren't going to stay late. Here the verb be has the form are. Znači ovde glagol be ima oblik are. Kod be going to jedina stvar koju menjamo u rečenicama jeste taj glagol be, odnosno bit će ta njegova 3 oblika, am, is ili are, ili njihov odričan oblik, ako nam treba odrična rečenica. Let's take a look at questions now. In questions, we just invert the position of be and the subject. So we put be in the first place in its forms am, is, or are, plus subject, plus going to, plus verb in its base form. Are we going to have dinner in a restaurant? We can have 2 answers, short answers. Those are yes we are and no we aren't. Znači za pitanja samo ćemo obrnuti mesto glagola be i subjekta. Glagol be dolazi na prvo mesto u jednom od svoja tri oblika, to su am, is ili are, zatim dolazi subjekat, zatim going to i zatim infinitiv glavnog glagola. Primer je, are we going to have dinner in a restaurant? Možemo imati dva odgovora, dve vrste, pošto je ovo yes or no question. To će biti yes we are ili no we aren't. Mora da se slaže, yes ide sa potvrdnim oblikom, no sa odričnim. Okay, so now let's take a look at negative sentences. In negative sentences, we add not to the verb be. And we can contract that to three forms. Aren't, isn't, and am not. So we put am, is, are, plus not, plus going to, and plus the verb in its base form. Znači, za odrične rečenice samo ćemo dodati reč not glagolu be, odnosno jednom od njegova tri oblika, am, is ili are, a to možemo da napišemo i skraćeno, a to glasi aren't, isn't i am not. Imamo ovdje jedan primjer. We are not going to have dinner in a restaurant. And that's it. So now let's try to practice be going to. Write sentences using be going to. Pay attention. What is the subject? Okay, have you finished? Let's check. So, the first one. They are going to go shopping on Saturday. They are, plural. Number 2. Is Andrew going to phone me tonight? Okay, here we need a question, so the verb be goes to the start of the sentence. Number 3. Tom is not going to study maths. Tom is third person singular, so we need is not, or isn't. 4. Are you going to watch a film on TV? Are goes to the beginning because we need a question. And number 5 is also a question, but here we have a question word. Be careful, when you have a question word, it goes to the beginning of the sentence, and then the rest goes as usual. When are they going to get married? Znači, obratite pažnju na 5. primjer, gdje imamo jednu upitnu reč. Ako imate upitnu reč u pitanjima, bilo kada, bilo gde, uvek ide na početak ispred pomoćnog glagola. Okay, so the last thing that we have to do today is future simple. Future simple, or will. We use it to make predictions about the future based on our knowledge, beliefs, or experiences. For example, it will be cold in the mountains, so bring a sweater. Also, we can also say, I think Bill will come home for Christmas. Znači, buduće prosto vreme, odnosno will, koristimo za predviđanje budućnosti zasnovana na našim verovanjima, iskustvima ili na nečemu što znamo. Na primjer, it will be cold in the mountains, bring a sweater. Biće hladno u planini, ponesi džemper. Ili I think Bill will come home for Christmas. Mislim da će Bill doći kući za Božić. Okay, so let's take a look at positive sentences first. Will is easy, so we just use will and infinitive of the verb to make positive sentences. I think it will rain tomorrow. We can contract will to apostrophe double L in positive sentences. Znači, za potvrdne rečenice koristimo samo will, nakon koga stavljamo infinitiv glagola i to je to. Jednostavno. I think it will rain tomorrow. Will možemo da skratimo u potvrdnim rečenicama na apostrof i ll. It will rain. Let's see questions now. We use will plus subject plus infinitive, and we get a question. Will John come to the party? We can have two answers. Yes, he will, or no, he won't. Da dobijemo pitanja, koristimo will, zatim je subjekat i zatim infinitiv glagola i dobili smo pitanje. Will John come? Will na prvo mesto, John subjekat na drugo i osnovni oblik, odnosno infinitiv na treće. Možemo imati dve vrste odgovora, pošto je ovo yes or no question, a to će biti yes, he will, ili no, he won't. Okay? So, now let's take a look at negative sentences. For negative sentences, we use will not, or won't in short, plus infinitive to make negatives. Znači, za odrične rečenice koristimo will not, odnosno skraćeno won't, nakon koga sledi infinitiv, odnosno osnovni oblik glagola i dobijamo odrične rečenice. John won't come to the party. John neće doći na žurku. And John is sad. He's probably in detention. Možda je John u kazni. On neće ići na žurku. Okay, so now that we've learned this or revised it, let's practice a little bit. Try to write sentences using will or won't. Znači, hajde sada da probamo da vežbamo. Napišite rečenice koristeći will ili won't. Napravite predviđanja. Okay, have you finished? Let's check. So, the first one. I will be a vet when I grow up. Ovdje nam je bila potrebna potvrdna rečenica. Ja ću biti veterinar kada porastem. To je neko naše predviđanje. Okay, let's take a look at number 2. I think my sister will be a singer because she loves singing. Ovo je neko naše predviđanje. Ja mislim da će moja sestra biti pevačica zato što ona voli pevanje. Okay. In the next one, we have in the future, there will not be enough clean water. Here we can put will not or won't. Znači, ovdje u trećoj imamo u budućnosti neće biti dovoljno čiste vode. Možete staviti will not ili won't. Okay? And in the next one, will there be internet in the future? Ovdje nam je trebalo pitanje. Da li će u budućnosti biti interneta? Na početak rečenice stavljamo will i dobijamo pitanje. And the last one, will they get married? Da li će se oni venčati? Isto trebalo nam je pitanje. Na početak stavljamo will. Okay. Now, let's try to practice the difference between will and be going to. Hajde sada da probamo da izvežbamo razliku između will i be going to, odnosno kada se koristi jedno, a kada se koristi drugo. Probajte da dopunite rečenice koristeći odgovarajući oblik will ili be going to. Imate 5 rečenica, obratite pažnju da li se radi o planu, da li se radi o nekom predviđanju, šta vam treba. Okay, have you finished? Let's take a look. So the first one, have you got any plans for tomorrow? Yes, I something visit my grandparents. Imaš li planove za sutra? Da, ja ću posjetiti moju babu i dedu. Znači, pitamo konkretno za planove. Čim govorimo o planovima, znači treba nam be going to. Have you got any plans for tomorrow? Yes, I'm going to visit my grandparents. Ovde menjamo samo glagol be. U ovom slučaju će on biti u obliku am, zato što je subjekat I. I am going to visit my grandparents. Ok, ako ste napisali skraćeni oblik, I'm going to visit my grandparents. Let's take a look at number 2. Why is she learning Spanish? She, something, traveled to Spain. Zašto ona uči španski? Ona će da putuje u Španiju. What do you think? Is this a plan? It probably is, right? Ovo je verovatno neki plan. Ova devojka želi da sprovede svoj plan u delo i ona želi da putuje u Španiju. Ona će tamo da putuje i zato uči španski da bi joj bilo lakše. Čim je plan u pitanju, znači da ćemo koristiti be going to. Why is she learning Spanish? She is going to travel to Spain. Ovde je she subjekat, znači da nam treba glagol be u obliku is. She is going to. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. I think we something have fun. Mislim da ćemo se mi zabaviti. Okay, so here it's pretty clear. When you take a look, it says I think. Ja mislim. When you think, when you believe something, you use will. And will is the same for each person. Znači za svako lice je will isto, a ovde koristimo will čim se radi o nekom našem mišljenju. Ja mislim da ćemo se zabaviti. So we just put will. I think we will have fun. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. He doesn't have a map. He something get lost. Okay, so here it gets a bit more complicated, but try to remember. We see that he doesn't have a map. So we have evidence for this. This is a prediction, but we predict this based on what we see. So we're going to use be going to. He doesn't have a map. He is going to get lost. On nema kartu, nema mapu. On će se izgubiti. Ovde koristimo be going to zbog toga što mi predviđamo nešto zasnovano na tome što vidimo, na nekim dokazima. Okay, and the last one, who something win the football match, what do you think? Ko će pobediti u fudbalskoj utakmici, šta misliš? Okay, we're saying, what do you think? Šta misliš? Nešto predvidi. Znači ovo je predviđanje, treba da koristimo will. Who will win the football match? What do you think? That's it, you're done. So how did you do? What was the most difficult thing you did today? Is there anything you could improve? Maybe something you are unsure of? Ask your teachers. I hope you had fun learning. This was our last lesson. Have a great summer holiday. Goodbye.